Pogba expected to be back in action this particular weekend. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're only watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And we're going to also be discussing the winner of the African Player of the Year award in there. So let's obviously get deep into this story in there. Late in the night, we brought you a story about Martin Odegaard, and here we come to obviously get you a story about Pogba in here onto the Rokani Media Football. Now, ESPN has told us that Paul Pogba is set to be named in Monaco's squad for Saturday's match against Rennes with the intention of giving him a few minutes on the pitch. It will be his first appearance in football over 2 years. Now, we all know that Paul Pogba failed a doping test. And by that time, he was at Juventus and he was really banned for 4 years. But he went into what we call the Football Court of Appeal, and when he appealed, he got justice. And March this year, we expected him to obviously be playing football, but he was not all back to full fitness, as he was one of those players that he had not been playing football. So he lacked competitive fitness and match fitness, and that's why very many clubs were like, we will have to wait and see. And Monaco went ahead to land the deal of Paul Pogba, and there he comes to be there. And for the very first time after 2 years, Paul Pogba is expected to play his first game for Monaco in there. And there is a story I really went ahead to read from some French player, a French national team player, asked on whether this guy can obviously make it to the World Cup. And obviously he can. Remember, he's a darling to the manager known as Deschamps. And if I'm Deschamps, I go with Paul Pogba, provided he hits the ground running with the side known as Monaco, as Paul Pogba is a special player. We've always had this saying that on the best day, on his best day, he is the best player in the world. That is it. If you've gone ahead to see what he puts out on the field of play, Paul Pogba looks like he's the best player in the world, especially in the midfield. But he's back this weekend, and we are waiting to see what his manager is obviously going to be saying in the press conference, as the lad tries to really get back to the levels that we know he has been all about. And having rested for all 2 years without playing football, I think he really has the energy, he really has a drive and has something to fight for. But we who have always gone ahead to rate him, we know how good this player has been, you know. And I tell you what, he's one of those that will sit back right now and really regret for not giving football enough time, as his lifestyle went ahead to cost him a lot, as he wasn't an injury-prone player by the time he left Man United and went to a team known as Juventus. But when he returned into Manchester, I think he failed to control himself, especially the lifestyle and so on and so forth. That's why his body never went ahead to get enough rest, and that's why injuries went ahead to accumulate in his career as a player for Manchester United. And that's why when Eric Ten Hag came in through and they asked him, would you offer Paul Pogba a new contract? He said, no, I'm not obviously going to be offering him a new contract. But he's back in the French League One where it all started, and he is coming in through at a side known as Monaco to do the needful into the mix. So that is it. And let's obviously get into the story of the African Footballer of the Year. They were 3 competing for that, and they are coming through a guy known as Achraf Hakimi, who won it, and he went ahead to obviously beat Mo Salah and Victor Osimhen in there for you. Now, for Achraf Hakimi, I think it was evident that he was obviously going to be winning this. Why? One, this lad, known as Ashraf Hakimi won the Champions League. He went ahead to obviously win League One in there and played in the FIFA Club World Cup finale. First edition that was played in the US. You understand? And he was really very, very, very instrumental, in that fight against Inter Milan. He's by the way, right now, if you ask me of who is the best right back in the world, his name won't miss out. I know there are others that are really trying to perform and really look very well, but this guy is special. I'm talking about a player called Ashraf Hakimi. He is a special breed of a player, and you need to give thanks and really respect to him. They signed him from Inter Milan, for like 60 million euros, but I think they are not regretting. That's why, even when they bring in Michele, he failed to obviously get this guy out of this position. For Salah, he lifted the Premier League, and I think where he missed out on really being the winner is when they got knocked out by this particular side known as PSG, because if a person knocked you out of the Champions League, how do you expect to come and really beat him? But he also was triumphant in the Premier League. But obviously the obvious winner was Ashraf Hakimi. The other one was none other than Victor Osimhen, playing in Turkey, and being given all that. I think he never deserved that slot. Scoring all those goals in Galatasaray, I think they would have gone ahead to look elsewhere, I think Thomas Partey, for the season he had really at Arsenal, he never won, but I think was really very instrumental. Which other player can we talk about? African player that really, really did great. There is Anguissa, who played for Napoli. And Napoli went ahead to lift that side. Napoli went ahead to lift the Italian Serie A under Antonio Conte. I think he really deserves a very huge go in there. Mbeumo never went ahead to obviously win anything, but he really had a very fantastic season at a club of Brentford. And I think that's why Mbeumo was like, I should leave this club and obviously go to a club like Manchester United. And I tell you, if he really has a very good season at Manchester United, don't be shocked next year when he's stepping on the podium for the best African player. And that will be obviously be influenced by the brand of Manchester United, because the player will be really famous. So Ashraf Hakimi takes it home, but we wait and see whether he'll come in through and will represent well in December, where we're obviously going to be having the African Cup of Nations in there for you. So guys, thank you very much for watching through your reactions to Paul Pogba back in action this weekend. What do you make about that? Then I want to hear from you. What do you make about a side called Ashraf Hakimi beating Salah and Osimhen for the CAF African Footballer of the Year? What do you make about that? Was it really clear, or he never deserved it? So after that, if you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to go into the lower right bottom corner, smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After smashing it, hit the notification bell. That will enable you to get notified every time I upload a video onto this beautiful channel known as the Rokani Media Football. Early morning video coming in through to you, the viewers, and those that really watched the Martin Odegaard story over the night. Thank you. And those that haven't obviously gone ahead to go to watch it, please do the due diligence, go and watch it, and you'll thank me later. Rokan David is the man behind the microphone and the face in front of your camera in here, and we are good to go in here for you. So that is it. Paul Pogba. When did I last do a story having Paul Pogba? I think it has been really that long, but we have finally gotten a story from Paul Pogba, and all cameras will be onto that game of Monaco versus Reims in there to see whether Paul Pogba brings in a cameo of the bench. And we all think that he cannot start. He's obviously going to be coming off the bench. We out. Bye-bye.